Welcome to the Whitwam Wealth Real Estate Podcast. Today's episode is REI Freedom.
Welcome to the Whitwam Wealth Real Estate Podcast with Scott Whitwam, your blueprint to financial abundance. Settle in as we explore the mindset and methods for wealth building through real estate.
Welcome back. I'm Scott Whitwam, and today we'll be talking about real estate investing freedom. I think this is very important. It's one of the driving reasons why I think anybody should want to get involved with investing in real estate. I mean, I know everybody has different objectives. I've known people who, they have other businesses and they're getting into real estate investing in order to start generating passive income. And I guess that leads me kind of into my first point, which would be real estate investing can take you from your 9 to 5 and take it into a place where you get to make the decisions about how your days are going to work. How many times do I hear people complain about, Monday morning, I got to get up, 4 in the morning or 6 in the morning or whatever it is and be to work by 7 or 5 or whatever. And then I've got to put in 8 hours and I only get a half hour lunch. And a lot of it is just people trying to blow off steam. But the reality is most people, when you talk to them about having to work a 9 to 5 job, would rather be able to set their own schedule, work when they want, don't work when they don't. And I would say that as a real estate investor, one of the things that we can do when we build our businesses is we can turn it from being this 9 to 5 operation into being an operation that gives us freedom of schedule. Does that mean that you don't have to work between 9 and 5? No, you need to still be able to engage, but you get to set the when and the where based upon, how aggressive you want to be, how big you want to build your real estate business. There's a lot of people that are just trying to, have a real estate business. They really want to go from being, employed working for somebody else just to being self-employed. They don't want to have to be in the office Monday morning at 9 a.m. One of my real estate coaches is very interesting that he was talking one time and he mentioned that a lot of the stuff that he created happened after midnight, between midnight and 3 a.m. That was when he got productive and worked really well. And I just ran into somebody the other day that was kind of the same way. They really got most productive in their business about midnight. And they would work till midnight, till 4 a.m. And they would, then they would crash and sleep, get up, do most of their day, and then take a short bit and then get up at midnight and be productive between midnight and 4 a.m. The whole point is that real estate investing can take us to a place where we have the freedom to choose what our schedules are going to be like. And I know there's a lot of people that when they get into real estate investing, they do so for different reasons. Some people are just about, hey, I need to make money. I want to make a lot of money. I want to make money quick. I just need to generate enough money to pay, this or cover this. Some of us want to build long-term wealth, and we're trying to build, the passive portfolios with the multifamily and single family, doing rentals in both marketplaces. Some in the commercial endeavors, and then there's those of us that are wholesaling and those of us that are flipping, and we're doing all these things. But the greatest thing I would say is that, I don't have to go anywhere from 9 to 5. I choose where I want to be for the outcomes I want to get. Does that mean I put in less hours than maybe other people do? Not at all. One of my mentors had shared in a conference one time the secret to being successful working half days. And I thought, oh man, this is great. I would like to know what that secret is. How can I be successful in business? How can I build this business working half days? And he went on to say, it's really easy. You just pick the 12 hours that you want to work each day. And really, that's how building a business is. When we leave employment, we get into the self-employed, or we're getting into the business building environment. You're going to have to put in the time. But the nice thing is you have the freedom to choose which half day you want to work. You can put in your 12 doing this or doing that. And I've been in business now over 40 years in many different markets and different verticals, from retail sales to wholesale sales to obviously real estate investing. One of the things that it requires hard work. But the thing that I enjoy most about everything that I do is that I get to set my schedule. I determine whether I want to be up at 4 a.m. I determine whether I want to sleep in till noon. And that's up to me. I get to make that decision, but I still have to put in the time. I've got to make the phone calls. I've got to go network. I've got to knock on doors. I've got to approve marketing. I've got to do those things. I got to oversee my team. I've got to go to projects and make sure that the work's being done. Not only is it getting done, but is it getting done to the level of quality that we want? So I have some involvement. Yeah, some of this, I could probably offload on somebody else. But there's this standard of quality that I want, and on the construction side of things, we own a construction company too. There's the quality of interaction I want with the clientele, and so I have some great people who are part of our team, been with me a long time, and they do a very good job in all of those areas. But at the end of the day, my name is on things, so I choose what time I want to allot for those interactions in order to develop and continue to develop the business. But it's my choice. I get to choose. I have the freedom to choose which of those I want to do to be successful. And I get to choose whether I want to work 18 hours a day or whether I want to work 4 hours a day. That's up to me based on the outcomes that I want. I also, as a real estate investor, I get the freedom to choose what I want to invest in. I'm not locked into a specific, I would say, investment. I've had people tell me that they only invest in this one vertical. Well, that's good. They made their choice. They made their business. They're driving for that. Me, I've become much more flexible over the years. I realize that I can walk and chew gum at the same time. I can do a couple different things at once. And when we run across, maybe a multifamily that is ripe for flipping, we flip it. When we run into a single family residence or whatever that's perfect for, turning it into a rental, making a long-term rental out of it, then that's what we do. And I stay flexible. Some stuff we wholesale. Our pipeline gets full at times, and I've got a certain amount of teams, and I'm looking at the future. Do I hire more people that I may have to let go, or do I just say, okay, hey, we have reached our max on this thing, and we can make the same or close to the same amount of money wholesaling a property, so we wholesale it. I used to wholesale a lot more stuff than what we do now, but now we just wholesale the things that we're not going to personally do. Maybe we pick up a wholesale property in an area of the country that we don't want to be in. We don't want to work in. The numbers just don't work right for us. We'll wholesale that property. So I have the freedom to choose what I want to invest in. I can invest in residential. I can invest in commercial. That's the nice thing about this industry. The real estate investing freedom comes from the right to choose what you want to be involved in and how you want to work it. And also, I have the freedom to determine my future. Am I looking at building residual income out of my properties so that my properties are my real estate investing income comes from passive income? Or do I want active income where I want to work and turn properties and generate a certain return generating properties? And so we work on all of those things, but I have the freedom to determine that. I'm not being forced into different situations. Now, I may look at the government's benefits in any specific area, which makes it better from a tax advantage standpoint, and utilize those in order to determine what I want to do. But I have that choice. I mean, I can do the short-term capital gains. I can flip things and then just keep writing checks to the government for short-term capital gains. I can put them into long-term, take advantage of the depreciation. I have the right and opportunity, and so do you. And then we have the freedom of what we get involved in, right? We have the freedom to determine whether we want to do joint ventures with other people. whether we want to do this all on our own, whether we want to hire a team, whether we want to put an entire business together around this that's self-sustaining and runs on its own, and then we manage the business itself and those that we hire. We have the freedom to get as involved or uninvolved as we want to do, and that's one of the things I really like about this. And that's, when we started Whitwam Wealth Academy, when we started the coaching company, it was my desire to get involved with other investors, to help other investors be able to work through all of these things. Because a lot of investors, I know investors who are doing a lot of properties and they're flipping a lot of properties, and still they're kind of got this thing. They're like, I know there's something better. I know there's something else. I know there's something different that I should be doing. But you get stuck in that rut of what you know. And as a real estate coach, one of the things that we do is we help people get unstuck. We help take people to the next level. We help people go from no business to volumes of business. We help people go from idea and concept into activity. And I enjoy that. I had the freedom to get involved with whom I want. And so that's why we interview. All of our coaching students have to go through an interview process. We don't work with everybody who asks to be one of our coaching students. One of the things that I have noticed with a lot of real estate coaches, just from talking to people that we've interviewed, there's a lot of people that sign up for coaching programs, but because the interaction wasn't good, the involvement wasn't good, the students weren't successful. Now, sometimes it's 100% on the student because they haven't taken advantage of it. I mean, I was doing a conference out in California, and we had a booth there, and I had somebody come up and talk to me about a coaching program. I knew the coach, I knew the program. That invested almost $20,000 in this program, and they were not being successful. But one of the things that they didn't find out is how involved that coach was going to be in their individual business. I know, though, that if this person had worked the program, they would have been very successful. They made a lot of money at it. I know the coach. I know people have been through the coaching program, their coaching program. But that coach has decided how involved they want to get. We've decided how involved we want to get. And because of that, we only work with certain people. But you get that choice as a real estate investor, how involved you want to get. And at what point do you want to start sharing that experience? And I guess my last point is, as a real estate investor, we have freedom of thought. This podcast is about the freedom of thought. It's the Whitwam Wealth Real Estate Podcast. I come on here every week and I talk about different topics. I interview people. I get guests on the program, and they get to share what they think about something. So I may have multiple people in the same businesses that help real estate investors who have different thoughts about the way things should be done or should come together. And that's the way it should be. We should be able to have that freedom of thought, be willing to promote what it is that we think, and then back it up with evidence. I can back up with 35 years of investing experience. Like when I wrote my book, No Money Down, How to Buy Real Estate Using Other People's Money. It's because I've done it before. And so I put those thoughts together, the process together, so that people can benefit, other real estate investors can benefit from it. So REI Freedom is about a lot of things. It's about being able to make choices of what you want to do, who you want to do it with, how to communicate with people, what to be involved with, how to set your own schedule, how to take advantages of the freedom in this business. And I will tell you that one of the things about real estate investing I like much greater than being involved in retail is the fact that I have the opportunity to schedule a lot more personal type freedom, because I'm not locked into a building. I'm not locked into a situation. I have friends who own restaurants on the retail side in the restaurant business, and they're putting in 18 hours a day. But they get to express their freedom of thought, and it comes out on their menus. So we all have opportunities. I love real estate investing, and I think that if we really think about what it is that we have, it can help motivate us and energize us into our next season. I want to thank you for joining me on this episode of the Whitwam Wealth Real Estate Podcast. I invite you to subscribe today and be part of our growing community. Be sure to check out our growing list of previous episodes on other real estate investing topics. You can always find the Whitwam Wealth Real Estate Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you enjoy listening to your podcast. This is Scott Whitwam. Be sure to join me on our next episode of the Whitwam Wealth Real Estate Podcast, where we're wealth building through real estate.